Good evening and thanks for joining us for this special digital edition of 23 ABC News at 7. I'm Jessica Harrington. Tonight's top stories. Night one of the Republican National Convention is now underway. We spoke with a Republican candidate on what he thinks Kern County voters are looking for this upcoming election. And kids are walking virtually into a new school year. And even though they may be the ones attending from home, parents are just as affected. Straight ahead, details on the importance of taking care of your mental health. 23 ABC News at 7 starts now. And a good evening to you. Tonight is the first day of the Republican National Convention, and the party already announced President Donald Trump as their official candidate. Earlier today, 23 ABC spoke with 32nd Assemblyman Republican candidate Todd Cotta, who's running against incumbent Rudy Salas. Cotta says he believes the upcoming 2020 election is going to be one of the most politically divided elections. He also told 23 ABC he believes there are three main priorities Republican voters want addressed when it comes to casting their ballots. Cotta says public safety, school choice, and unemployment are major issues for Republican voters.
We've lost our airline industry. We've lost now our automotive industry. We've lost all these things in California that made California great. And now all of a sudden, they're gone and we have no jobs. We have no good paying jobs. Unless you live in Silicon Valley or you live in Los Angeles, which the cost of living there is unreal. So, yeah. Jobs are a huge thing, and Sacramento and Gavin Newsom and the supermajority in the Assembly and Senate are doing nothing but tearing jobs out of this state, and we have to stop that.
To see a full list of who will be speaking this week at the Republican National Convention, you can head to our website, turnto23.com. Turning now to the unrest over the shooting of Jacob Blake. Blake was hospitalized in serious condition after police shot him several times in the back as he opened the door of a parked vehicle in Wisconsin. Video of the shooting emerged on social media late Sunday, sparking angry protests that prompted the city to declare an emergency curfew. Those protests continuing tonight. Now, the shooting, which is now under investigation by the Wisconsin Department of Justice, happened around 5 p.m. Sunday when officers responded to calls of a domestic incident. A 911 dispatcher reported someone said Blake wasn't supposed to be there and that he had taken their keys and refused to give them back. In video released on social media, Blake is shown walking away from officers who are pointing their weapons at him. He approaches an SUV and opens the driver's side door when an officer grabs his shirt and subsequently fires at least 7 shots into his back. Officers provided medical aid to Blake, who was transported to a hospital in Milwaukee. 2 of the officers involved were placed on administrative leave. The shooting sparked outrage and protests. The governor in Wisconsin deploying 125 members of the state's National Guard to support local law enforcement and maintain public safety. Well, new information tonight. The San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office identifying the suspect killed during an active shooter situation last week in Nipomo as a man visiting the area from Bakersfield. As mentioned, it happened in Nipomo, which is located about 120 miles west of Bakersfield, north of Santa Maria and south of Arroyo Grande.
The suspect in this case is identified as a 42-year-old named Scott Huffman. He is from Bakersfield. He came over to San Luis Obispo that day, but did not reside in San Luis Obispo.
Sheriff Ian Parkinson says early indications are Scott Huffman was having a mental health crisis. Other than that, no other motivation for the shooting is known. Huffman had no criminal history or history of mental illness, according to officials. Parkinson said Huffman was shot and killed during a confrontation with sheriff's deputies and a California Highway Patrol officer in the parking lot of a Vaughn's gas station in Nipomo Friday. Prior to that, Parkinson says Huffman had fired more than 20 rounds from a handgun, both inside and outside of the gas station's convenience store. No law enforcement or civilians were hurt during the incident. Parkinson says a woman who was in the vehicle took off when the shooting started. Parkinson says there's no indication she did anything wrong or knew that the shooting was going to happen. He says it was not a planned event. Today was the first day of school for most school districts in Kern County, and just like schools across the country, Kern County school districts were prepared for some obstacles this upcoming school year, but technical issues with the conferencing application Zoom made for a difficult first day of virtual learning. We spoke with several school districts who had trouble with Zoom Monday morning. They tell us Canvas, the online school application which integrated with Zoom, made it hard for students to attend class earlier today.
At 7-something, we were getting emails that Zoom was down, Canvas was down. Canvas was really slow to start up. It was difficult. I mean, some kids couldn't even log on.
There's some issues with Zoom on the first day of school today, so that was kind of interesting. But, I saw lots of smiling kids, lots of laughs.
School officials tell us the Zoom system was back up and running at 10 o'clock this morning. For parents in the Panama Buena Vista School District, there is live tech support available to help fix any issues students may have while learning online. Well, there's been a lot of talk surrounding students as they begin the new school year during the COVID-19 pandemic, but we can't forget about the parents. 23 ABC's Callan Hobman spoke with a local therapist about some ways parents can take care of their own mental health while guiding their children through virtual learning.
Beginning the school year from home isn't easy for students or their parents.
When we have this change of routine and structure, there's just heightened emotions.
Associate therapist Taylor Heavey says creating a separate space at home for work can give parents a sense of normalcy.
It's all getting blended together. Work and home and kids and then relaxation, and we're all of a sudden just supposed to turn all of that off at the end of the day. I think it's helpful if that those spaces are a little bit separate.
Heavey recommends checking in on yourself each day and acknowledging your emotions.
Whether you just do some deep breathing, some meditation, some family yoga. If we have to bring the kids in, that's fine. Let's all do it together. But yeah, something each day to just let yourself be aware of how you're feeling.
And Heavey says don't hide your feelings from your children. It can actually teach them a good lesson.
The kid does call you out and they're like, Mom, you look stressed, or like, Mom, what is going on? Just being like, yeah, I am. And I'm trying to work through it, and it's not easy for me, but I'm doing the best I can. All that a kid's going to learn from that is, okay, you can be honest about your emotions and you can work through them.
For couples struggling to get some alone time, Heavey says you can tell the kids you're going to do your own thing for a moment.
Even if it means saying, hey kids, we're going to put a movie on, you're going to stay here, and we're going to go into the backyard and do our own picnic or date night. The kids can handle that and see that their parents are making time for themselves.
This way parents can lead by example while getting some well-deserved self-care. Callan Hobman, 23 ABC, connecting you.
The body of firefighting pilot Mike Fournier was escorted from Fresno back to Southern California, passing through Kern County this morning as he heads to his final resting place. Fournier was killed last week when the helicopter he was flying crashed in Coalinga while making water drops. Fournier's body left the Fresno County Coroner's Office around 7 o'clock this morning. A procession led by CAL FIRE headed south down the 99 onto Interstate 5 at the base of the Grapevine, stopping in Gorman at LA County Fire Station 77 off Highway 138. From there, LA County took the lead as they escorted him the rest of the way into Southern California. The wildfires here in the state expected to get worse this week as storms start to move in. Watch this as crews rescue 2 firefighters in Marin County. Gusty winds made it tough, but both firefighters grabbed onto a 100-foot rope and were pulled to safety. The new storms are expected to pack lightning and strong winds, which could start new fires or spread existing ones. Governor Newsom addressing the threat from the storms during his press briefing today, mentioning there have been nearly 300 lightning strikes in the past 24 hours alone, sparking 10 new fires for crews to battle overnight. The governor saying the weather is the biggest factor right now concerning the wildfires.
So this challenge continues, including the weather today, particularly up in the Sierras, particularly in the eastern part of the state. We're still experiencing some weather, including lightning strikes, a little bit of wind. But the bottom line is these lightning strikes have been the most impactful and most challenging. It's also been impenetrable in terms of identifying fires.
The governor saying the White House has approved California's request for a presidential major disaster declaration. That will mean more resources to help fight the fires. And we can see that some progress has been made as we take a live look outside. You can still see a little bit of blue skies right at the top of the screen. That's different from last week where it was just really all hazy. But as you can tell, as the sun starts to set, we are still dealing with some of that. 23 ABC's meteorologist Brandon Michaels joining us now with a look at our air quality and the forecast. Hey, Brandon.
Hey, Jess. Yeah, you absolutely said it. We had some very, very bad air quality last week, and it's improved at least a little bit now. Unhealthy still, though, so still not good. Still don't want to spend too much time outside with those unhealthy conditions. 157, our current air quality index. Looking ahead here, we're going to see this smoke start to clear out a little bit, though. That's the good news we've got in the forecast, but you can definitely see smoky skies here this evening as we head into tomorrow morning. A little bit of a change there, but really as we head into the evening hours tomorrow, as this animates out, we're going to start to see a really nice push of some clearer air, and that's going to really clear us out. So the air quality is going to be better tomorrow. Still early in the day, not great, unhealthy for sensitive groups, but that's still better than it is right now. So definitely making some progress as far as the air quality is concerned. Fresher air is going to be pushing into the area, and you can really see that if you look toward western Kern County. Those are some strong winds by the afternoon and evening, so that's going to be that fresh ocean air arriving. It's going to make us a little bit breezy for tomorrow. Temperatures may be falling a little bit with that breeze. I'm going about 100 for the high temperature in Bakersfield, 90 for Tehachapi, and about 107 at China Lake. So that cooler air really not making its way into the desert, not cooling most of us off all that much either way. Again, 100 degrees for us in Bakersfield tomorrow, 99 on Wednesday, 98 on Thursday. And then temperatures are going to be in the triple digits for most of the forecast from there. We're going to take a look at our mountain communities as well. Temperatures are going to be about 100 for the Kern River Valley tomorrow. You'll drop down to about 95 by Monday. Tehachapi, looking at temperatures that are going to be in the 80s and 90s through the forecast. And Fraser Park actually mostly staying in the 80s here over the next several days. Things are going to be just sunny and dry, no major changes on the horizon.
And as Brandon mentioned, we are still dealing with some air quality issues. Get Bus is trying to cut back on air pollution by continuing to offer free rides. Get offered free rides last week and through the weekend and will continue to do so all day today as well. Get will offer free rides anytime the air quality index is above 150. Get recommends downloading the San Joaquin Valley Air District app to monitor the air quality. Well, some renters who are suffering financially due to the COVID-19 pandemic fear losing their home as early as next Tuesday. This is because the state's eviction moratorium ends September 1st. Now, according to the County of Kern, thousands of families are currently facing eviction. Last week, the city of Bakersfield approved $5 million in funding to help residents with rental assistance. Tomorrow, the Kern County Board of Supervisors are expected to do the same in order to combat this issue.
The hopefulness that you will not be evicted and that this community really stands with you is the message we're sending.
Coming up tonight at 11, 23 ABC's Kylie Walker explains who would benefit from these additional funds if approved and where those struggling community members can turn to during this time. It is no secret that 2020 has been mentally and physically exhausting. The CDC has even said something as simple as social distancing can make people feel isolated and increase stress and anxiety. 23 ABC's Danielle Kernkamp spoke to a local business owner who says more residents are turning to them for help.
If you've experienced lack of sleep, anxiety, or stress lately, you're not alone. It's why lavender farms across the world are seeing a surge in sales this year, including the Lavender Garden in Kern County.
So we were kind of hoping, that we would have more visitors, but we've actually been surprised to see that we've tripled the number or more than tripled the number of visitors that we get.
Located just off the 46 near Lost Hills, Anna says more and more customers have been stopping in on their way to the coast, seeking relief from stress during the pandemic.
They see the color right off the highway, of the plants, and they want to stop by. They're curious. Once they're here, they do get interested, and then that's when they learn that you could use it for, aromatherapy. Sometimes you could use it on your skin, to help you relax, for sleeping.
Lavender has long been touted as a natural remedy for anxiety, insomnia, and other ailments. And while there's no scientific backing for those claims, Anna says she's seen it work wonders.
I use it for sleeping or headaches. Like sometimes I'll get a drop and I'll just put on my temples, or, I'll spray some hydrosol on my pillow. My kids use it too. They love it.
I'm Danielle Kernkamp, 23 ABC, connecting you.
And if you would like to visit the Lavender Garden, they're open from 9 to 5 Tuesdays through Sundays, closed on Mondays. It is free to visit and walk through the grounds. We have the details on our website, turnto23.com. And if you're trying to pick a day, well, maybe Brandon can help us. When are we going to have better air quality and better temperatures, Brandon?
It's really going to start tomorrow, the better air quality. Still unhealthy for sensitive groups tomorrow, 142 our air quality, but by the time we get later in the day, things are going to be looking significantly better here. Let's take a look at the day planner. Again, a little hazy to start the day off. 88 by about 10. Pretty hot by the time we get to lunchtime, but we're going to see the winds pick up by the time we get to the afternoon. That's that fresher air blowing in, and we're really going to see an improvement in our air quality, much less smoky as we head into the later afternoon hours.
All right, looking forward to it. That's going to do it for us on this special digital edition of 23 ABC News at 7. We hope to see you back here tonight for 23 ABC News at 11.